If you love building in The Sims 4 but don't want to spend money on custom content, this video is for you. I'll walk you through this modern family home of 4 using only the base game and share my favorite building tips and tricks along the way. Don't forget to smash that like button, and with that said, let's hop into the build! I've decided to build in Brindleton Bay, on the lot which is near to the lighthouse, on the coastal area, secluded from the others. I wanted to have a modern house, which usually comes as a lower house with flat roof or no roof at all. I used the platform to create the roofs. Around the whole build I placed a balcony, which I made by using the half walls with the glass wall texture, and I've painted a couple of walls that the build is not that boring. In a hindsight, the build is all white and we are building in the Brindleton Bay and we all know that it's raining there all the time, so I think honestly the build will be dirty quite fast. But hey, we are in The Sims 4, so it's not such a big deal. But in reality, I would avoid white houses for exactly the reason I just described. But moving on into the interior, my whole inspiration for the build were the stairs which I wanted to build. They're going to be custom made, they're going to be just base game, but I'm getting too much ahead of myself. First, let us create the proper entrance. I placed there a big door and the 2 windows. I changed it afterwards because I thought that only 1 window would fit way better. And I made the stairs made from the platforms, which I think for this type of house were fitting way better than the normal stairs. I've also wanted to have a built-in bookcase, so I created a nook and I placed there an arch in between. I will place 2 bookcases, and I wanted to have very neutral palette, so it's going to be white, light, airy. I like to call this interior design Cream Dream. I was inspired by Scandinavian, but it's not going to be 100% Scandinavian build. If you would like to see a style like this, I recently posted a patisserie build, which I can link down below, and there I have an apartment which is made exactly in the Scandinavian style. And since it's a family home, I wanted to have plenty of space, especially since the family will have 2 small kids. They should have a lot of space to play, to run around, for the skill building to learn how to walk, and I wanted to have a big kitchen. I always liked big kitchen, I think they're very practical, and in these modern builds you always see a big kitchen because there is a plenty of counters which you can use to hide your clutter. In the modern builds you always see very sleek, very neat interior, which you can achieve by hiding your clutter. But moving on now to the bathroom, you'll see me create a custom washing machine. I recently made a short how to create it step by step, so if you're curious, make sure to check the link down below and just recreate it in your builds. I also cluttered the space here because I wanted to have it homey, so it's still a family home. I know the modern houses I said are very sleek, but I wanted to have a homey feeling. So I placed some clutter around. I also placed the shoes under the seating chair in the hall, and I created a custom-made clothes rack where your sim can put their clothes if they would really put it down and behave normal. I also wanted to have a bar area, and I placed there a wall decoration for the bar. It comes with a light behind. I didn't like it that much, so I placed behind it the mirrors, and then I placed the mirrors across the whole thing. I placed also the lights, which are coming as a reward when you achieve, I think, a writer career. They are locked in the gameplay unless you achieve the career, but you can unlock them with the cheats, or when you are building without Sims living in the house yet, you can just find them standardly in the build menu. Moving on upstairs, I created, of course, a gallery, like with every of my builds, and I created 2 rooms. One will be for the kids and one would be a bedroom. I created also a bathroom upstairs and downstairs, so the house has in total 2 bathrooms, which again for the family house I think is very reasonable. Even in general, if you will have visitors, you don't want them to go upstairs into your bathroom, so to have downstairs bathroom is always more practical. Now you saw me putting a bunch of items. I'm usually doing this when I'm building. I'm placing a lot of items which I know I will use, and then I'm starting to place them exactly where I want them. I split the bedroom with the half wall to make a separation for a baby, because even though I'm not a mother, I think it's reasonable to have a baby with you in the room. I know there are the walkie-talkies, so some parents prefer to have a baby in the other room, but if I would ever be a parent, I think I would want to have my child near to me to be able to react really fast if something will go wrong. And once I finished with a little kingdom for the kid, I moved on to the bedroom. In the corner, you can see the vanity table, which I custom created. I didn't put it into the speed build since I created a short how to do this. So if you are interested, I will link also this down below, so make sure to check it in case you are interested how to create it. I've decorated the space very minimalistic. I just put a couple of flowers and couple of paintings on the wall. The paintings didn't make it really into the build, but at the beginning you could have seen them, and I will also link down below the creator of this painting as always. And with that, I'm moving on into the kids' room. I actually like how this turned out. It has all the essential needed for your sim to be able to skill build, and I also like the vibe which it's giving. It's still modern, it's not that much cluttered, but it still resembles the kids' room, at least to me. Let me know in the comments if you agree or not, or if you will do something differently. However, I very much like the style of the house. I was trying to stay in a cream dream. I put there a couple of boring colors, but I really didn't want to have this colorful. I was also thinking this room can stay for a child when he will become also a teenager, so I didn't want to make it too kiddish. If that's a word. So if I would invite my friends over, they will have a place to sit, and I don't have to be embarrassed by having too many toys, especially when I'm a teenager. And moving on to the next room, which is going to be the bathroom, I decorated it also very easy. So there is a bathtub, all what your sim needs. And if you are wondering how did the backsplash made it behind the bathtub if we don't have the backsplash in the base game, I created a short how to create one using just the items which exist in the base game, so make sure to check the link down below. I've placed there a double sink because honestly I hate if I have to share one with my husband. It's very often in the hotel rooms that you have only one sink, I assume because of the cost saving, but you always have to wait until he is done and then you can go, or you are doing stuff together, but I don't know, to me it's very disgusting when someone is brushing his teeth next to me, so I always prefer to have a double sink. And with this anecdote, we are done furnishing upstairs and moving on downstairs where the magic will happen. I've created a divider of the dining room by using just the windows on the standard wall, and since I have a medium long walls, I wanted to have a tall plant. Unfortunately, we don't really have tall plants in the game, so I use regular trees and just size them down and place them into the pot of another plant. There is plenty of leaves, so it's not really visible, and this is a small trick how you can enhance your builds. As the next, I'm gonna show you how to create a custom railing at your stairs. You need to go into the debug menu and search for this slim pole. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a name in the debug menu, so you need to really scroll. But once you have it with key 9, just place it around your stairs and you have a custom railing. And speaking of customization, I created also a furniture using just the debug items and the shelves. I've also made a short out of this, so make sure to check the link down below. However, you just place as many shelves as you want, use this slim pole around as a supporting construction, and place there whichever flowers you want. I used the one in the debug because I wanted to have them be hanging, but you can place there whatever you like. For the more skill building, I created a small gym in the garage, and for the planting, I created a small greenhouse next to the house using the glass walls and the glass roof, and I'm not sure if this will be considered that it's indoors or outdoors, but if it will be considered indoors, then your sim can plan the whole year long, especially if you have seasons installed. If you have just the base game, then it doesn't really matter. And now I'm creating the backyard for the family. I imagine how beautiful this would be. In the summer, the whole family is grilling, having fun in the pool, sunbathing on the sun. I also realized having the frame from the paintings which I placed behind the TV as a decoration, so I had to come up with clever ways how to hide it. I did my very best, so it's not visible in your gameplay and it would not really bother you then. At least it was not bothering me anymore. And except of the seating, which I placed next to the outdoor kitchen, I created a sunk-in seating, creating a room lowering down the platform and using the ottomans from the base game. I've placed there also this object, which is for the fire pit. Unfortunately, it will not make any fire, but it was not really bothering me. At least my Sims will not catch on fire, or I would not have to replace the items constantly. Because with Sims, it's not a question of if, but it's a question of when. As a last furnishing moment, I created a garbage area, since it's an essential in all of your builds. I have there now a half gabled roof, but I will replace it for the final build. So on the gallery, you will find a flat roof, and also during the tours, you will see the final result. And I know we are surrounded on this lot with plenty of nature. However, I was thinking, since it's a base game only, I'm building it for people, especially who have only base game and maybe don't have the worlds. So I decided to create also a plants around this build. So you will see me decorate with plenty of tall trees, because for me, I know it's secluded on this lot, but again, if you will download it anywhere else, there might be people coming around, so I wanted to give some privacy. And even though the tall trees were good ideas at first, it still was not really hiding the whole space. So I took this fence from the debug menu, which is super tall and was making exactly what I wanted, and place it around the build. I've placed also the lights on it because this is how we have it, and I think it also looks very nice. As the last steps, I created a driveway for a car, and I made a garage more realistic by adding the poles next to it to create a 3D effect, and by placing the lights below to create an effect of the handlers of the garage. And with the last touches, we are through with the build. Thank you so much for watching, for hanging out with me. Make sure to subscribe to receive the notifications every time I will post. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and see you next time. Bye bye!